Everybody, welcome to another con support video. This time it's on comparing linear functions. All right, let's go. So it says function 1 is defined by the equation y equals 1/3 x plus 1/2, and function 2 is defined by the line q shown on the following graph. Which function has a greater slope? Well, all you have to do to figure this out is to look and see what the slope of the function on the graph is, and then compare it to the function in the equation. So if we're looking at this slope here on Q, it's going to be a positive slope because it's going up from left to right. And from one dot to the next on the line, so identify that point and that point right there, it looks like you're going up 1 and to the right 3, 4. So up 1 and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be a slope of change in y of positive 1, change in x of positive 4, or a slope of 1/4. So this line has a slope of 1/4. This line has a slope of 1/3, right? The coefficient of x and y equals mx plus b is going to be the slope. So this is a slope of 1/3. This is a slope of 1/4. The greater absolute value slope is going to be steeper. So 1/3 is greater value than 1/4. So that means 1/3 is the one that's steeper, has a higher slope. So we would just say function 1. So function 1. And then let's put that up here and let's check. All right, for the next one, it says function 1 is defined by the following table: 0, 5, 5, 7.5, 10, 10, so on and so forth. Function 2 is defined by line h on this graph. It says which function has a greater slope? Okay, well, once again, we got to figure out what the slope of these two situations is, right? So if we look at this line right here, as x changes by 5, y changes by 2.5. So that's 2.5 over 5, or 1/2. So this function 1 has a slope of 1/2, change in y over change in x. Now, does this one have a greater or less than 1/2? Going from one point to the next on this line h, you're going to go up 1 and to the right 3. So this is 1/3. So this is a slope of positive 1/3. This is a slope of positive 1/2. Okay? So 1/2 is greater than 1/3. 0.5 is greater than 0.3 repeating. So that means function 1 is a greater slope than function 2. So function 1 is a greater slope than function 2. This one says function 1 is defined by the equation p equals -3/2 r minus 5. And that's just y equals mx plus b, but the y is p and the r is x. So if you look at the graph here, if there was a graph, the y-axis would be p-axis and the r-axis would be x-axis. It says function 2 is defined by the following table. Okay, so once again, x, y, just like rp, same thing. P corresponds to the y and r corresponds to the x. All right, it says which function has a greater y-intercept? Well, this line right here has a value of r at 0 and a value of p at -5. So basically when x is 0, y is -5. So this is a y-intercept of -5. And this equation, the y-intercept is, of course, -5 as well, because it's mx plus b, or in this case, mr plus b. And what we can see is that the -5 is the value of p when r is 0. So when r is 0, p is -5 in both situations. So that means that they're the same, right? The functions are the same y-intercept. Function 1 is defined by the equation y equals 2/5 x plus 3. Function 2 is defined by the line q. So now we're going to answer the question, which function has a greater y-intercept? All right, so which one starts at a higher value? Well, this one here starts at 3. So where's 3 on here? Right there, boom. So obviously q is going to be starting at a higher value on the y-axis. That's not really a hard question, right? The y-intercept for q is 5. The y-intercept for this equation up here for function 1 is 3. So obviously q has a higher y-intercept than that. So which of the has a higher y-intercept? We would say that function 2, which is line q. And that's how you do it. All right, so hopefully that makes sense.